Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my monthly review for this month's issue of the Walking Dead comic book series. This month we got to see the release of the Walking Dead issue 149, which is called The Devil on Your Shoulder. And as always, my reviews do contain spoilers. Sorry for my appearance. I just woke up, haven't had my shower yet for the day. I wanted to get the review posted for you guys because I got to start work pretty soon, about half an hour to an hour. So, I wanted to do my review for you guys before that. Just read the issue, enjoyed it quite a bit. If I had to score it, I'd say this is probably like an 8 out of 10 for me. Didn't blow me away, but it was a really good lead-up, of course. Next issue release is going to be The Walking Dead issue 150, which should be a big one. And it looks like there should be a lot of action, maybe some character deaths. We'll have to see what happens. Because usually 50 and 100, you get some big issues. It's not as big as a 100 issue, like 200 or 100, but 150 is still pretty big. So we've got in this issue Negan and Rick basically talking, the devil on your shoulder type of thing, where Rick goes to Negan for advice. And actually in this case is pretty funny conversation. My favorite line is where Negan tells him he's extremely dis-a-fucking-pointed in him. But it is a pretty useful conversation because Negan does show Rick that you could just lie. You could just do that. And it looks like Rick is actually seeing that as the best answer right now. I do think his initial step is really a good direction, and that Negan's right about that, which is to put together a military. One way or another, I think that is a good idea. You can get people, kind of in action to train and, get all their weapons ready and everything ready just in case. And, you'll be ready for if the Whisperers end up attacking without warning, or if, your people, they just can't take it anymore and they decide that they have to attack or they have to kill them. So he sees Eugene. He talks to Eugene about using the bullets that Eugene has casted and, saving them for a rainy day and that the rain's about to come. So I do like that, and I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Negan's got some good points. So it seems like maybe he didn't make a mistake by keeping Negan around after all, because that is a really good decision to make, at least in the beginning. Now, him lying to his people about, his overall direction, Rick, of course, still doesn't want to go to war again because he knows that probably the amount of casualties are going to be huge one way or another. But if they have the weapons, if they have the firepower, and the Whisperers don't really have much, it seems like to me. The Whisperers are mainly, they do have some ammunitions, they do have some, firearms, but they mostly use, I would say, butcher knives and, knives and close combat type of weapons, maybe swords and stuff like that. And then, of course, blend in with the zombies and use the zombies to their advantage. But, so I do like the general direction. I think it makes a lot of sense that they would put together a military, and it's a great first step if they have time before, the people of Alexandria or kind of the joint communities try to fight back against them. We see the start of that in this episode this issue as we knew we would, with Vincent talking to Julia. And then, of course, you have the father and one of the sons visiting them of the annoying parents from the Hilltop, which Carl got into the scuffle with and used the shovel on, if you guys remember that. So, of course, they don't like Carl, they don't like Rick to begin with, and now they've got, more reason to put together some kind of coup and try to take over Alexandria maybe and, fight back against Rick. So, ergo, cover of 150 where Rick is just covered in blood makes a lot of sense, because it looks like they're going to try to put together some kind of group or gang or something and try to take over, so to speak. And I'm assuming, of course, it's going to fail. I would think so. In addition to that, we have Dwight with some pretty good lines talking to Laura about leaving, and Laura blaming Diane. Laura shows that she does care for Dwight, and she respects him, and she thinks that he is a good leader and that the Saviors need him. But he's still going to leave, so to speak. He's still had enough of it, and he's going to leave. He grabs Lucille at the last page and gets ready to kind of head out with his crossbow and everything else. So where's he going to go? What are we going to see happen? Hard to say. It's definitely an interesting one. But what will happen with the Saviors is the biggest question. Is Negan going to be able to take them back over? Will they want Negan to return? He was able to keep them, I would say, mostly happy. Mostly happy. But, of course, there was a lot of war, there was a lot of fighting going on, stuff like that. But up until that point, I think the Saviors under Negan were, as long as they didn't break any of his rules, they were pretty much set, having some fun, eating well, all that kind of stuff, because, of course, they were eating off other people. So Negan definitely has an interesting way of leading, and definitely has an interesting direction, effective one way or another. And even if it's kind of the wrong way to do it, I would say, or kind of the evil way to do it. Of course, as he's our villain. So aside from that, we had Andrea, Carl, and Lydia, who arrived at the Hilltop and tell the person at the gate that they were never there, that kind of deal. We've got Maggie, she's still at Alexandria, and that's pretty much the issue. So generally, Negan just is telling Rick or guiding Rick to make people feel secure, because the fear is really what's going to get to them, and it's going to make them act out and act crazy. So he wants to make them feel secure, and that's really the first step at this point. And then later on, if they're going to go to war, then maybe they'll have no choice. Also like the line where he asked him if he was effing stupid. That was funny too. So pretty decent issue. Nothing mind-blowing. Not that much in terms of progress aside from a direction, and some dialogue. No action or anything like that. But still a good issue. Like I said, 8 out of 10. Pretty good issue. So can't wait for issue 150 to come up. I'm not sure the release date. I have to check it online here after. But let me know what you guys thought about today's issue. Not a bad issue at all. If you like this review, you can thumb it up below. If you want to support the channel, you can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's all I got to say about this one. I'll see you guys for the next review for issue 150 when it hits, as well as, of course, all the other Walking Dead videos and content, TV series discussion, comic book series discussion, everything else we do. If you have any video suggestions, send them to me through the About tab of the channel or questions for a Q&A. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow. So this is Trev, saying peace.